Alright, hey guys. So, actually, hang on a second. Alright, sorry I had to kill a bee. Okay, I don't like them in the house. Alright, so this one is tips for getting eggs from other birds. Here we go, guys. I lifted my computer up because I just don't want it on the table. Like, I'm having issues with my computer, and I hope they're not permanent. Yeah. Okay. While chicken eggs are the most common on homesteads, other eggs are also produced by homesteaders. Ducks, geese, and quail all produce eggs that are suitable for consumption or sales. Duck eggs are actually eclipsing chicken eggs in popularity, especially for restaurants and Asian food markets. All these eggs are handled almost identically after laying, but here are a few tips and tricks for helping your birds produce eggs. Ducks and geese. Ducks and geese tend to handle their eggs strangely. In nature, they constantly hide their nests, and since they aren't quite as domesticated as chickens, they either find the oddest places to leave their eggs or just drop them in the middle of the run. You can build and set up nesting boxes for them, which will encourage them to keep their eggs a bit better for their human partners. The easiest way is to set up straw bales. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. First, set up a single row of bales for end to end to serve as the backdrop for the boxes. Then place bales perpendicular, just far enough apart for one bird to sit inside. Then put at least 6 inches of straw in each nook. Geese and ducks like to bury their eggs in debris. So by providing it, you're encouraging them to use the nesting spots you created. I'll have to remember that. Okay. You might want to mount a 1x6 piece of untreated lumber along the front of the nesting spots. Drive a few stakes into the ground, then screw the board to the stakes. The ledge created will help keep the straw inside the nest areas. In my experience, I have not noticed that one particular type of straw is favored over another. I've used pine straw bales and wheatgrass bales and had success with both. As you remove the eggs, make sure you replenish the straw as necessary. If your birds can't bury their eggs, they will abandon the nest areas and seek out better hiding spots. If the nesting area is outdoors, it will need some sort of structure to protect the inside from elements.
What are some other things?
Geese and ducks are not really susceptible to cold weather, but it is best to ensure that they're as comfortable as possible. While much larger, geese and duck eggs are nutritionally similar to chicken eggs by volume. Quail. Quail are often kept in small hutches, although some keepers advocate keeping them in the same conditions as chickens. I lean toward the camp that advocates coops and runs, but quail are much better flyers. And as such, they often require much tighter fencing to keep them in captivity. If they're kept in coops, build them boxes similar to chicken nesting boxes. However, make sure they have plenty of straw. Quail like to build nests and will have a lot of straw to do it. Will use a lot of straw to do it.
Like we're back underneath
Excuse me.
again.
If kept in a hutch, provide the birds with enough straw to keep them comfortable. Hutches placed on stilts will provide the birds with a bit more security from predators, and wire bottoms will make it easier to clean them. Most quail hutches are made with slightly slanted bottoms, so the eggs they lay will roll toward the front of the hutch for easier collecting. Ow. Quail lay more eggs than chickens or ducks, usually about one a day, but the eggs are much smaller. It usually takes about 5 quail eggs to equal the volume of one chicken egg.
Well,
I'm having problems with my hand.
Yeah, I guess you should.
okay, but we will kiss about this later. Have you seen my dog?
Despite this, quail eggs are popular at restaurants and specialty markets. The eggs are also considered healthier substitutes for chicken eggs, especially for people with autoimmune issues. Egg sales. If you decide to sell your eggs, the first thing you should be aware of is you cannot compete in price with store-bought eggs. Chicken eggs are one of the few agricultural products that benefit from the economy of scale, which means the more eggs produced, the cheaper they are to produce. Most egg sellers seriously undervalue their eggs, often selling them for $2 a dozen. Larger homestead operations may use them at a loss leader, drawing in customers who want eggs and then buy other items that have higher profit margins. If you decide to adopt this strategy, make sure you do the math and check it twice. Egg sellers who lose money will not be able to sustain sales levels. I would suggest that, at minimum, chicken eggs be sold for $4 per dozen, more for organically produced eggs. That's approximately the break-even price for eggs laid by chickens fed conventional feed in the Southeast. However, that number might not even be a break-even point in locations where chicken feed is more than $14 a bag. You should also charge more for specialty eggs. Goose, duck, and quail eggs are often harder to find, and demand drives prices just as much as cost of production. Be aware egg sales are usually highly regulated at farmers markets. Agriculture and health officials will check storage temperatures, inspect washing stations, and make sure egg cartons are new. While these regulations are not onerous, it's a good idea to find out what your state requires for egg sales to avoid any fines. To avoid the cost of purchasing cardboard egg cartons, don't buy styrofoam. You might want to consider selling your eggs in plastic, reusable egg cartons. If you do, you can offer a discount to customers who bring their cartons back to reduce your cost and reduce landfill waste among your customers. They're sure to appreciate it. All right. Washed versus unwashed eggs. American eggs cannot be exported to most European countries because American eggs are washed, and Europe won't allow them. Conversely, the eggs produced in Europe won't be allowed on American shores, as the unwashed eggs won't pass inspections here. If you're not selling your eggs, it's up to you whether you wash them or not. The natural coating on eggs, or the bloom as it's called, prevents the egg from going bad for about 2 weeks without refrigeration. If you eat your eggs fast enough, you can probably keep them stored on the counter. Again, though, if what you're about to eat seems off or bad, don't eat it. It's not worth the risk. And that was the end of chapter 18 on eggs. And I'll go ahead and get this up there, and I will see you guys on the next one. The next chapter is chapter 19, the basics of baking, which gets into baking bread and sourdough and all that good stuff. So I will see you guys in a little bit on the next video. Those of you who are new to the channel, we are Faith First Farm and Homestead. We have 5.41 acres down here in Oklahoma. We moved down here a little over a year and a half ago from Michigan. We did have 12 acres down here, but we had to switch properties because the roads that go up to the mountain property that we had are just really bad. And once we get a vehicle, I really didn't want to have to deal with repairs on vehicles like every month or so because of the roads being so bad. So it's just really hard to access. The property that we have now, even though it's less acreage, it has a year-round running stream on it, which does help a lot. Though it is 4 hours away from Wilburton, where we are now, we're planning on moving there in October.
Something earlier showing. Is that okay?
There are power lines on. Okay, it's a rectangle. Our property is a rectangle, basically. The stream is down in the lower right-hand corner, and I mean it's a pretty good size on the property. Anyway, yeah, the road that runs in front of the property and along the side of the property, both of those roads are county maintained, and they have power lines running along them. So we'll have access to electricity, we'll have access to, we'll have our water. We're going to go through, more than likely, the company called Ron's Buildings and Sheds for our shed cabins that we're going to have. And I want to try to do get one of their studio ones for an outdoor kitchen. And see, we're going to have one, Andrew's going to have one, and Chloe's going to have one. So we're all going to pool together. We're probably going to build it. Well, Andrew's going to buy a chicken coop to start with, so we have a good enclosure to start with. We're still going to have to, get fencing and that kind of thing, but we will be building, a lot of our outdoor buildings and that kind of thing. Cinnamon, quit. Sorry, she's chewing on plastic. Anyway, so we haven't yet figured out exactly, like where everything's gonna go yet. Even though, things have changed since I made this video. If you go to Faith versus Going Live under our live tab, in there I explain, more of why we moved down here and why we decided to go into homesteading. And, just, our gardens and that kind of thing, and how we're planning on going about our gardens, because I'm still going to be doing raised garden beds. Anyway, but go ahead and go through our videos and like and share the videos on all your platforms, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Always check your subscriptions, because YouTube will unsubscribe people. They don't like homesteading content. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get off from here, and I will get this video uploaded, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.